Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to have a look at Hydra again. We had a look at Hydra about a month ago on the 20th of June, or the 18th of June, I think it was. Today is the 20th of July, that's why. So it's roughly about a month since I last looked at it, on the channel anyway. I've been keeping up with the coin a bit. And full disclaimer, I own Hydra. I've been buying Hydra during this time. I run my own Hydra node, so I'm fully invested emotionally. I want it to succeed, not because it's a great project, but I think it's geniusly been put together. Great community. I know everybody says crypto space is a great community, but Hydra is one of the only groups where I've seen they're so interactive with their community in the Telegram, and there never seems to be any outright hate towards the development team or anything like that. It's always constructive, so it's always great to see. And also they've had serious development going on during this bear market. I mean, even recently, I think it was today actually, they had another vote for another five development things that they want to introduce to Hydra. Going through them now. One of them was marketing. They wanted to spend something like $35,000 a month on marketing with these three marketing agencies, and so hopefully people are going to start getting introduced to Hydra now. They're also introducing a new sharding layer or protocol. I can't remember. I had to look into it a while ago, but I didn't really, when they first started talking about it, but I don't really know what it entails. It basically just for scalability. So again, it's all about speed, of transactions, while hopefully not compromising decentralization, which did seem to be a bit of a problem for Hydra when they introduced the new Hydragon update. But I know that also in its own sense it is still sufficiently decentralized. But the way most big altcoins go these days, it's more decentralized than them if it were to scale up to their size. And of course XRP, it's not overly decentralized of a coin. It's one of the more centralized coins out there. I would call Hydra more decentralized, and of course all altcoins from now on basically need to make sure that they are at least at XRP's level for decentralization, so they can't be labeled as security and they can't be gone after. Now Hydra's a little fish, I don't think SEC is going to be targeting them anytime soon, but it's always something to keep your eye on. They also launched another Sugarverse gaming thing. I don't know anything going on about that, I'll be real with you. I read about it about a month ago in the Telegram. It seems to be some sort of like a NFT sort of game. I don't know what sort of game it is. I doubt it's an FPS anyway, but I think that will be big this next bull run. I think gaming will be something serious that will sort of lead the market. I mean, something like 3.7 people all over the globe are gamers, would consider themselves casual gamers, that would buy games every now and then, play with their friends. So if you even get 1%, 0.5% of that audience, 0.1% in that audience, you have 100 million people looking at this new decentralized gaming space that they can potentially earn money from while playing. Now I know at the moment, the games, hard quotation, air quotations, that exist in crypto aren't really games. They're just like, basically like cookie clickers. It's not fun. It's just, you pay money, you waste your time basically, but you get rewarded with more of that cryptocurrency that you can then hopefully sell to new people that want to get into the space. And it is a bit Ponzi-like, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. I do think gaming will be a big part of the next bull run, in my opinion. I think it will sort of be storage and gaming. Anyway, going very off topic, they did like a framework thing for Locktrip. Locktrip is their hotel sort of travel part of the cryptocurrency thing. That's a whole other part of Hydra, which is very good and useful. I know it's adopted by quite a few companies. And they also launched the Lydra and Hydra decentralized exchange pool, or the strategy anyway. I don't think they launched the actual pool, but they launched how they're going to launch it. So, or there was a vote. The vote was passed on how they were going to launch it. So they said, we're going to do it this way, and the community said, yes, please. And if you don't know, Lydra is their liquid staking for Hydra. So it's a lot like owning like Lido Finance's ETH, where if you have the, I can't remember what the token is. I know on Binance it's BETH because I saw it the other day. But if you hold that token, you'll basically get paid out ETH staking rewards just by holding it. It's the same thing with Hydra, basically. So, you know, lots of things coming up for the Hydra space, but if we go into price action, we can see it's pretty poor. You know, I mean, literally this last year, since 2023, we had this big Santa rally, New Year rally, and then ever since it's kind of been dying. And it's been very similar for a lot of altcoins, but Hydra, you know, there's no hiding it, has been doing terribly. Now, when we last looked at Hydra, I think we just dropped down to this $1. And I think we said that we can expect to stay here for a while. We'd sort of oscillate around and through it for a long time. I do think we're reaching the bottom for Hydra. Now, I'm not going to say it'll hit the bottom and only go up. I think we're sort of getting into, you know, the lowest territory that Hydra has. I mean, if we check from its all-time high, it'll be, you know, it's something like a 50x or something that, you know, somewhere roughly on it. To its all-time high, yeah, it's 5,000%, which is a 50x. So if you bought here now and it returns to its all-time high, it's a 50x. So that means it's got to be something like 98% down or something like that from its all-time high. I think 98%. Wow, I didn't even check those numbers before the video. I can't hang on. Well, the maths wasn't hard. I mean, the all-time high was like 50 quid, and it's now $1. But anyway, proud of myself there for simple maths. Anyway, we can see that Hydra's come down a long way since its all-time high, and it has a long way to go to get back to its all-time high. Now, whether it does reach its all-time high, I don't know. I can't say for sure. I mean, I think it's a good project. I think a lot is going on with it. They're working hard. They've survived this bear market so far, and they're spending money. They're not sort of cowering and rationing. They've just proposed a new marketing thing that they're you know, spending whatever 400,000 a year if it's 35k a month. So, you know, they're not scared. Definitely, they're showing that they've got the resources, they've got the tools. They just need the time to sort of develop them and implement them, which is what the bear market is for. This is when projects are made. This is when millionaires are made, because they get these coins like Hydra with real good development teams, and they buy them dirt cheap, like the price is now. Like, do I think this will go below $1? I think there's a good chance it could, but if it does go below $1, and if it does go below a 90-cent sort of mark, I could see it dropping to 70 cents. If it goes below $1 and holds at the 90 cent and then comes back up, I think that'll probably be the lowest we go. Maybe. It's all maybe with these altcoins, because Hydra is such a new coin, and it all depends on what the whole general crypto space does itself. Because if Bitcoin continues to go up, I mean, you know, if we pull up Bitcoin, I might have it here, BTC USD, yeah. If we pull up Bitcoin here, when it decides to show itself, it might not. Sorry, Bitcoin's playing up a bit. I might delete it and just add it myself. BTC USD. There she is at the top. So we can see that from the peak, roughly, BTC is doing a whole lot better than Hydra. There's roughly a 2,000%, you know, basically a 20x of Bitcoin's price compared to Hydra. So if you've been holding Bitcoin in this time, you would be, you know, 20x, roughly 20x higher than if you'd have held Hydra. And, you know, reversing it, you're roughly 95% down on your investment if you'd have put it into Hydra instead of BTC. So again, very bad, but that's of course the all-time high. If we sort of go into if we go to the beginning of this year, we can see BTC has obviously done very well this year. Like, this has so far been BTC's year. It's led the whole charge, and you know, you're about 61% down if you put it into Hydra at the beginning of the year instead of BTC. Hydra is one of the only altcoins that hasn't really rallied at the beginning of the year. Well, of course it did have its rally, but it also just completely crashed afterwards, where BTC had a rally that wasn't as big but continued to rally onwards, which is to be expected. I mean, I have been saying you need to be putting, sorry, you should not financial advice, I would never tell you where to put your money, but if I've been putting my money in Bitcoin, and it has done me very well. Now, I only recently have started considering taking my money out of Bitcoin and putting it into a few alts. I have put it into a couple alts that I've been looking at. A few of those are File, a few of those are Rune. I've put a bit in the sort of safer altcoins that I believe will come back next market cycle, like Ada and what else? Matic, things that I am sure will come back. ETH as well. I'm sure ETH will be around. I mean, it's number 2. It's been number 2 for years, and there's just so much built on ETH. You know, you've got layer 2s. There aren't layer 2s for other cryptocurrencies, really. I know not this Hydra, but Cardano has a layer 2 scaling called Hydra. I know that's for Cardano, but for others there isn't really layer 2s. So I think Ethereum's price is going to go up because all these layer 2s are going to drive ETH's network fees up, which of course drives ETH up. You know, I've been slowly moving into alts a bit now, literally only over the last few days. Like, you know, beginning of this week, it's Thursday now, I might have started Tuesday or Monday, you know what I mean? And so far I'm, you know, not that I'm caring about the current price action, but I am up slightly, so I might have timed it well. But pardon me. Yeah, so like, in my rationale now is, look, if I start putting a bit into alts now, even if they continue to go lower, I know in 2 years' time they're going to be performing well, and I'm willing to take that 10x or whatever instead of the 15, 14x I could get if I wait a little bit longer. You know, I'm happy to play a bit safe and make sure I get some at a good price now. Like, I don't want it to be a sort of December of 2023 again for like the likes of Bitcoin. I know obviously Hydra is telling a different story, but for BTC, ETH, a lot of these other alts are only now at the level they were in December after FTX. So in my brain, I'm like, I didn't put much money into these alts during that time, and they didn't spend too long down there. They spent out a month, and then afterwards they recovered pretty well, and they spent 5 months basically above that, only to now recently come back down. So my rationale is, I'm happy to buy some of those alts now, you know, just allocate a bit of my capital from BTC, from the USD I've been holding, into a few of these alts, you know, maybe 20%, and if it goes back up, you know, I've won, and if it goes down, it's fine, I didn't put too much in, and also, I got it at a good price, it's a good deal, you know. If it dropped and I didn't buy any more, and then it went parabolic, I would still be in good money. So in my brain, when we're roughly at least 90% down from alts all-time highs, it doesn't hurt to put a bit of cash into these alts. And whether you want to do the same, that's up to you. But that's how I would see it. Now, as we can see, Hydra here, roughly, if we pull up a Fibonacci, I'll see where we want. We can have a look at the beginning of this year, maybe. Sort of the range that we've gone from. If we take this peak and bring it down, it paints a good picture of roughly, you know, well, how it's performed, and it does a good job of finding the layers. Fibonacci is like pretty good, you know. If you're only starting out with TA and you want to do a bit of your own, I'd recommend using the Fibonacci retracement levels. So as you can see, we sort of hit our peak here, and as we came down, we sort of oscillated between these two. Now again, the 0.5 isn't actually an official Fibonacci number, but a lot of people include it, and it's included in this one, so it's here. It's accurate enough in the sense that, you know, we do sort of drop below it. When we did drop below it here, it went down hard. It was a resistance here again. When we climbed above, we wicked to the next level and then floated above it. Was a support, and then a resistance, then back down. So we've sort of been following this price action, and as you can see, the actual line that brings it from top to bottom, it's held to that pretty well, to be honest with you. And I can see it following that for a bit. It's been in strong downward price action, really. I mean, it's performed very poorly over the last few months. I mean, to be honest, ever since, you know, 2021 peak in April, which was an early peak, not much other stuff peaked then. Now there was like a big wick then, but not most alts, but a lot of alts and Bitcoin peaked afterwards in August. And, you know, there was another wick up in July, but, you know, it was August when they had their main sort of finisher, sort of, you know, when they made their biggest move. So BTC anyway. I mean, look at that. That's actually terrible. Oh my god. But yeah, and actually, I'll be interested to see if we do a fib of, we'll do it from its peak to its top. We can see that we have been in this bottom layer of the fib since the coin's launch, since December of 2021. So we're coming up to 2 years of being in this terrible price action for Hydra. How long do we expect to stay in this? Until the next bull run, honestly. We're not going to break out of this zone until the next bull run, I'll be honest with you. And if you want to, again, do something like this to sort of add your own, sort of analyze the layer that we're in now. Again, we can see that we've dropped into this red zone for about basically a year now, just over, and we've only gone down. What do I expect to see? I think Hydra has suffered enough. To be honest with you, I don't think there's much suffering left for it. I think soon we're going to see some sort of revival. I mean, the Telegram channel, can't remember how many people are in it, but there's a good, at least sort of 5,000. What's daily trading volume? Does it say it here? Volume 5.327k, and the average volume over 10 days was 20k. So as you can see, the volume has gone up actually in the 10-day. So there is obviously something happening here. A lot of trading going on. This could be because of the news of the 5 approved proposals that the Hydra team put through. All in all, it looks like Hydra's gone through its worst, and I think we are going to see this with a lot of alts. I think in the next few months we'll go a little bit lower. It all depends. I mean, XRP's ruling came at a very interesting time, because I would have just expected alts to keep bleeding to Bitcoin, but because of XRP's victory, a lot of money has come back into alts, and a lot of money specifically has gone into like XRP and XLM, which is Stellar, XRP's co-founder's coin, which is very similar to XRP. So it's interesting. It is interesting. All in all, Hydra's looking to be at one of its lowest points I think it will reach. I mean, we're 98% down from all-time highs. We've got a 50x to return to our all-time highs. I mean, could I see it dropping to 50 cent and making it an 100x before we return to our all-time highs? Sure. The coin is low enough market cap for that to happen, you know? Like, it is possible. It's just, it doesn't have the liquidity to hold off from big movements, whether they're bearish or bullish. There's just not enough liquidity to sort of hold any sort of real resistance once really bad news or really good news comes through. So it just sort of depends what happens with these alts. I mean, obviously, you can see with XRP, like, when was that? You know, a week ago, we can see that, you know, it didn't really celebrate that at all. Which just shows how sort of isolated it is from the general crypto space, except that the general crypto space is in a bear market, and Hydra's definitely in a bear market. But otherwise, not much seems to be showing. I mean, it's correlated to Bitcoin well, but it's not correlated to other alts, which is a curse and a blessing. So I think when Bitcoin starts to really start performing during the leading up to the halving, you know, which we can possibly expect to see in a few months, we can start to see some good price action for BTC. I think we've got a bit of another drop coming in over the next few months, and then we'll have 3, 4, 5 months of BTC rallying, and then we'll drop, you know, like we were looking at with LTC yesterday. We see that often about 2 months, month and a half before the halving, the coin just seems to drop. So it could be the same with BTC, who knows? And if it is the same with BTC, we can expect Hydra to come along with it for the ride up, and then most definitely come with it for the ride down. Because, you know, Hydra hasn't really, like we just had a look with Bitcoin, Hydra hasn't really followed it in this year's sort of rally. So for us to assume that it would start to just reverse that now and start coming up with Bitcoin because of no actual event would be stupid. But with the halving hype coming along, that, you know, I've said it a few times, the tide that lifts all boats, you know, Hydra would be one of those boats that would be lifted, from what I think anyway. Again, always take what I say with a pinch of salt. Always get multiple opinions, you know, check out other YouTubers. Don't just rely on me for information on coins you're interested in. Go watch other people. There are much better YouTubers, much better TA channels that do a much better job than me. And I've only just started out, so I still struggle with you know, getting my points across, and I've noticed I ramble quite a bit, so I will try to cut back on that, and I'm sure as I go on I will get better. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Again, just to totally finish up, Hydra, a bit more pain maybe. Potential upside, I don't know. I think we could have a long time of sort of staying below this $2 mark, to be honest with you. I can't see us going above it this year unless there's some big move or big hype. Maybe it comes along from one of these approved development roadmaps, one of the developments actually being implemented. I can see the liquid staking being very good, because it's very easy to just hold the coin then and make money instead of having to set up your Pi and run an actual node. I mean, you can delegate, but it's you know, you can hold it on KuCoin if you want, but it's not the same. Holding Hydra would just be a lot more efficient. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like the video, please leave me a like. Please give me a subscribe. Always comment down below. Tell me what you think of Hydra. I'll always have a chat with you down there. I love chatting to you guys. And yeah, thanks so much, and see ya. Bye.